Good evening, guys. Tonight I wanted to talk to you guys about excuses. Everyone's got an excuse, and there have been excuses used throughout the Bible for why they either didn't believe God could use them, or why they couldn't do something. Because God has a promise and a plan for everyone's lives. He's got something in store for you. But if we use excuses, it gets in the way of whatever it is He's got planned for us. Like in Genesis 18, God comes down and he talks to Abraham and he says, "Hey, I'm promising you and Sarah a child," and they're like almost 100 years old, and Sarah's laughing, her head off because we're too old. God can't use us. And it sowed doubt into her because she thought she was too old for God to use her. And so that's why she ended up giving Abraham her handmaiden, and that led to a whole bunch of other problems down the line. Because they pulled all these excuses out, like why God couldn't use them. Or in 1 Samuel, Saul was telling David, "Hey, you're too young. You were but a youth." I think the biblical scholars say David was probably about 16, 17 years old. So he was just a young guy, younger than we are. And instead of letting that excuse get in the way, because he could have very easily said, "Yes, Saul, you're right. I'm too young." Of course you're correct. Could have used that as an excuse and backed out of the promise and the plan that God had for his life. But David overcame that excuse and said, "So?" Right? Excuses only work if you let them work, if you let them get in the way. And then there's other excuses too, especially nowadays. Here's a good one here. So I know we're in that middle stage where we can't say we're too old, but we can't say we're too young. So those really aren't excuses we use at when it gets to our age range. But one of the big ones, and I know I'm very guilty of this one myself as well, but I'm too busy. I'm too busy. I got stuff I gotta do. God, I don't have time for this. I'm an adult now. I have responsibilities. I mean, in Matthew 8:21 to 22, there is a man who said, "God, I'm gonna follow you, but first I gotta go take care of something. I gotta go bury my father." And Jesus told him, "Hey, let the dead bury their dead. All right, you focus on what's important. You focus on your priorities. Is burying someone more important, or is following me more important?" And it kind of forces us to choose what our priorities are in life. Are our excuses our priorities, or is our comfort zone our priority, or is God our priority? And we're letting excuses get in the way. Or Mary and Martha, when Jesus was at their house and he was teaching, Martha was busy serving, and she got upset because Mary was focused on her priority, on Jesus, on learning from him. And she was using the excuse, "I'm too busy. Someone's got to serve the food. Someone's got to do all this." And Jesus looked at her and said, "Mary has chosen that which is more important." She has found her priority and found out that her priority is bigger than her excuses. Because Mary could have very easily said the same thing, "I'm too busy. I gotta help Martha out. I got cleaning to do, cooking to do. Jesus, I can't sit here and learn from you because of all these excuses that are getting in the way." And there's probably a multitude of other excuses, especially in more modern times, that get in the way of God using us, of the plans that He has for us. He could ask us to do something, but that would disrupt the flow we got going on here if we try to add another friend in, or I would talk to that person, but they kind of smell, or whatever you name it. There's an excuse for it. So this week and beyond, I hope that you guys would focus on what excuses are holding you back from your priorities, from what God has planned for your life.